All right, welcome back to my Rhastakan's Rumble Arena analysis, this time for Rogue. So, Rogue got some things in the set that work and some things in the set that don't work. What they get that don't work is pirate synergy. In Arena, like you look at the pirates, like I'm just gonna take a little detour here. Let's go to HS replay. Let's look at Arena. Let's look at Rogue. And let's look at Tribe Pirates. Just first data. Okay. So here are all the pirates in Arena. So you see this number here. This is a very, very, very small number. Rogues right now draft less than half a pirate per deck. That is extremely small. Even though Scalper and Sharkfin Fan are going to be insane, like those cards are going to be like maybe 0.5, 0.6 of them you'll see per deck. And like you take Rogue already takes every single pirate they see. So you take all of these, you're going to get less than a pirate per deck. So like this and this and this and this are bad. This is bad. Just because battle cries are generally worth 1 mana, combos are generally worth 1 mana. So like doubling it, you need to hit like 4 of those for this to be worth it. That's just bad. Hypemon is cool. Yeah, I feel bad for the guy because he's only got 1 leg here. So he can that's why he's a 5/7. He's got 1 leg. And then like he gets a battle cry meaning because he's got that. So I love the story art. I love the art in that one. Not really, just like an overview. So like this entire side of ignore that because that's pointless. Grawl is, I'll go over it a little bit more in depth, but probably the second best card in the whole set outside of maybe a new challenger. And it might be better than a new challenger because it comes out faster. So I'm still high on Rogue because of 3 cards. Well, actually 2 cards. That's powerful, but it doesn't do anything. Like, it's going to depend on where it's bucketed. It's better than Assassinate, so if it's worse than Assassinate, you take every single one. If it's better than Assassinate, well, then it's going up against things like Vilespine Slayer and Sap. So it's clearly worse than Vilespine Slayer, largely worse, probably worse than Sap, and clearly better than Assassinate. So it's a great card, but I'm not sure how it doesn't really do anything for Rogue. This is a lot worse than Walk the Plank in terms of win rate. But this does something really, really powerful. And this does something that Rogue doesn't really have in that it offers late game. So because these 3 are commons, I'm just going to get right to them. So as I said, Walk the Plank. Better than Assassinate, worse than Vilespine. Assassinate is top of the second bucket. Let me pull up the buckets here. Rogue. Yeah. I don't think it belongs there because I think Rogue has so many removals that Assassinate is just like unnecessary. It's overkill. It's like the bad overkill, not the mechanic overkill, but it's overkill in that you don't need that many cards that kill things. So that's why I think it's low. So it's definitely better than Assassinate, which means it has to be in the first bucket. And if it's in the first bucket, it's worse than Vilespine and it's worse than Sap. Therefore, by process of elimination, it has to be in the bottom of the first bucket. But again, it doesn't do anything Rogue doesn't already do. So, Stolen Steel. Stolen Steel, discover a weapon from another class. This will be a lot better when at the next rotation, because in the next rotation, a lot of bad cards from the legendary weapons are all going to rotate out. But in any case, because it's Discover, you don't care about the bad cards, you care about the good cards. So what are some good cards? Woe Cleaver. Summon a creature from your board, deal 3 damage. Super Collider, kill 1 or 2 things. Blood Razor, AoE. Gore Howl, kill a bunch of things or go face. Arcanite Reaper, go face. Fine Cleaver, kill things or go face and summon a couple 1/1s. Gladiator's Longbow, go face. True Silver, big card, go face. Silver Sword, buff things. Aluneth, actually a good card because Rogue can just dagger and break the Aluneth effect. Valenier, go face and buff things. Solthraze, go face or clear things. So you see, from all of those cards, that's a lot of cards where they do things that Rogue doesn't have. Rogue does not have like a real option to push like extra face damage from hand, because Eviscerate maybe a rush minion, but other than that, like they're heavily dependent on like getting their minions on board and doing things like cold blooding a minion and just pushing the face there. This gives them the option to have a powerful minion, let's say not powerful minion, a powerful weapon that they can draft and then use that to go face. So, is it good? It's still 2 mana draw cards. That ain't that good. But it's definitely something that you'll want to take as like maybe a 1 of or a 2 of. So for that, I would put it here in top of the 5th bucket. And before anyone asks, on 2, do you play this on 2? If you're going for the dream of Twig of the World Tree, so you have to remember with Twig of the World Tree, you have to play this on 2, hit the 10% chance to discover a Twig of the World Tree, then play Twig on 4, then play your dagger on 5 to break your Twig. So that can happen, but that's only going to happen like maybe like less than 10% of the time. So ultimately, I would say this is not a card you keep in your opening hand, and that you rather would have a dagger on 2 than a Twig of the World Tree on 4. Or for a dagger on 2 than a chance at Twig of the World Tree on 4. By the way, just quick math here. For the great weapons, I listed 11 of them, and you have basically a 71% chance to get this. So this is basically a real strong card. It's a late game card, so you have to consider that in effect. So Serrated Tooth. All right, a 1 mana 1/3 would be absolutely horrible in Rogue, because Rogue has a 2 mana 1/2, but they can play infinitely. So it doesn't actually, how would I say it? It doesn't actually work that well with the Rogue hero power. It makes the hero power irrelevant. It makes it so that it doesn't do anything. But Rush is an extremely powerful mechanic when you can trigger it, when you can bank it up. And it's AoE Rush. So what you can do is you can play this on 1, and then on turn 4 you can play, like, for example, your Ticket Scalper, which has the problem of being a slow card, but because you have the Serrated Tooth here, you can just play the Ticket Scalper and you can trade in and you can get your card advantage of it. Or, and I think this is probably the most important thing, in the late game, your opponent has a wide board. You have this equipped. You play 10 mana worth of stuff, you play a spread, then you break this and you trigger your rush. And you have a legitimate opportunity to take that card advantage in your hand, transfer it into immediate tempo advantage, and clear a board. This is something that Rogue does not have. Rogue has not had this before. The closest thing they had was something like a Dark Iron Skulker. And that potential impact from that situation, giving something Rogue that they don't have, something new to their identity, I think is incredibly valuable. So ultimately, like I say that's valuable. Ultimately, I'm only rating it like, let me go back over here. Bottom of the 2nd bucket, which, yeah, it's powerful, but again, like these things are consistent effects. Like maybe not the Defias Ringleader, but for the most part, these are consistent effects that will always help you. And with that, you need to have the minions in hand. You need to have the card advantage to be able to justify it. You need to have the situation where you want the rush to do something. It's still a very powerful effect. And as you can probably guess, I think the rest of these cards are pretty bad. Bloodsail Howler. If you get a Sharkfin fan, you can get this out as a 2 mana 3/3 rush. Possible. Oh, sorry, wrong thing here. I have a notepad loaded up with this, so like whenever I can just look at the notepad from like my old notes. Possible, maybe. I would put this bottom, like I'll be generous and I'll say top of the seventh bucket. The only reason I'm saying top of the seventh bucket is that Rogue has things like Plague Scientist and Cold Blood and Crazed Chemist, where it can buff things. So things with Rush get a bonus because of that, and therefore this may not actually be useless if you get it, just because it has that Rush. All right. Raiding Party. So again, you have to draw 2 pirates. You're going to average less than 2 pirates per deck if you take every single pirate you see. And a weapon. Maybe the weapon is worth it. So its potential is draw 3 for 3, which would be absolutely insane. Realistically, you're going to draw like you're not going to do any draw until late game anyways. So maybe draw a pirate and a weapon. I think like that's the realistic option for Raiding Party. But still, the chance that you get no pirates really makes me low on this. So I put bottom of the 6th bucket, saying, okay, there's a chance it high rolls, but I don't think it's going to high roll all that much. Let me see here. Spirit of the Shark, I mentioned before. Battle cries are generally worth 1 mana. Combos are generally worth 1 mana. A lot of them, like for example, SI7, you can't actually retarget the combo. So it's instead of dealing 2 damage, it's deal 4 damage. Something like a Vile Spine or a Kidnapper, you don't get a kill off 2 things. It only works on 1 thing. So ultimately, I think it's too slow for Arena. I think the 03, however much you have to pay and how long it takes to actually get value, they don't justify this. Bottom of the 7th bucket, don't pick it, please. Epics. Cannon Barrage. So, again, I'll just go through this one quickly. Cannon Barrage, deal 3 damage to random enemy, repeat it for each of your pirates. If you get 2 pirates on the board, this is a 6 mana Greater Arcane Missiles. That's the upside. Yeah, that really isn't all that good. Like, I think, like, maybe you can get it off, but I don't really think you're going to be able to ever get it off. So 7 mana, it's RNG, it's RNG. You can hit face with it, which is worthless. So yeah. All right, Grubashi Hype Mod. As I said, I love the art. I love the story told behind this. So discover a 1/1 copy of Battlecry Minion. It costs 1. Going back over here, there are a lot of powerful Battlecry minions in the. Hold on, let me see here. Type. Sorry. Mechanic. Battlecry. There are a lot of powerful Battlecry minions. So, Valera, not a minion, but like here, Oakheart, absolutely insane. Black Knight, absolutely insane. Deathwing, you can use Deathwing and just clear the board, which incredibly powerful. Onyxia, 1 mana, fill your board with a bunch of 1/1s. That's really powerful. Bone Mare, Corpse Racer. Like you go through these, and a lot of these minions, getting them as a 1/1 deal their Battlecry makes them really, really, really powerful. No, not that one, but Fungomancer here. And you see, you end up drafting a lot of these. Let me filter to minion type. Minion. Just get those things out of the way. So, like, a lot of these, as I said, they're powerful. Like Chain Gang, not so much. Death Speaker, really powerful. Phoenix, powerful. Firefly, okay. Nesting Rock, 1 mana, summon 3 1/1s. These are really, really good. Like I've played with Sonya, and I had a deck with Sonya and Oakheart where I was able to play Oakheart 3 or 4 times because I had Sonya and I kept on trading off my Oakheart, and it was a game I had no chance of winning, but then I played Oakheart and I stalled enough, and then I just eventually outvalued my opponent. And that's going to happen with this card. So I think it's a lot better than a Boulder Fist Ogre, personally. So Boulder Fist Ogre, it's like bottom of the 6 buckets. I would put this here, probably bottom of the 5th bucket because it's still understated, and because sometimes you aren't going to get your thing. But very well be wrong in this card, and I think this card may actually be a little bit better. Maybe top of the 5th bucket, maybe bottom of the 4th bucket, possibly. But anyway, real good card. Just like a really good card. Okay, Captain Hook Tusk, as I mentioned, you aren't going to get pirates, except maybe Ticket Scalper. So if this is an 8 mana, summon a Ticket Scalper with Rush, then that by itself is a really, really good card. If this is 8 mana, summon a 2/2, and then you can get a 1/1 as well, that's pretty decent. But yeah, again, it's relying on pirates. Are you going to get pirates? Probably not. I would say it's like right on the edge of. Sorry, go over to Rogue. It's something like I would say it's like right here around 30, somewhere around this range. And so that would be bottom of the 3rd bucket, maybe top of the 3rd bucket, because it is kind of playable if you get your deck with it. I have it on my list. Sorry. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll go here. My arena analysis. I have it over here as top of the 3rd bucket. But anyways, so as I said, Hook Tusk, very deck dependent. Okay. Grow. Second best card in the set behind a new challenger, because the downside of this card is you eat probably like let's say you eat a 3-drop. Because as Rogue, you're probably not going to be picking 2s. So you eat a 3-drop. Let's say that's 3/3. You get a 5 mana 5/5 that death rattles that gives you a 3/3. That's basically the downside. What if this hits a 5/5? You get a 5 mana 7/7 death rattle, gain a 5/5. So you compare this to, for example, Myra. Myra, Hearth Arena, that takes a little look to load, but it's a 4/2 that gains a death rattle. And death rattles are worth about 1 mana. This is a 2/2 that gains stats. And like, yeah, Myra's Discover, but like just the chance that you can get an overpowered minion is so high that it's definitely worth. I think that this is going to be above average, like 6/6 or 7/7, a lot more than it's going to be 5/5 or less. So ultimately, for Grawl, I'd say top of the 1st bucket, I would rate it as a 100. I think it's a lot better than any of these cards over here. Like maybe Lich King and Deathwing, but I would probably pick Grawl over these cards personally. Like I think as a rogue, I would love to have a Grawl. I'll be happy to see it. And then hey, guess what? Gurubashi Hypemon. Discover a 1/1 copy of a Battlecry minion. Grawl has a Battlecry. So instead of a 5 mana 2/2, you get a 1 mana 1/1. And it's got a Discover bonus because it's got a class bonus. All right, Hypemon, I'm officially going to promote you up to the 4th. Like I had you at the bottom of the 5th bucket. I'm going to officially promote you right now to the top of the 5th bucket because I just realized that you can discover Grawl. But then there's Hook Tusk. Still okay. You're still going to the top of the 5th bucket. Congratulations, Hypemon. All right, that's it for Rogue. Next up, we've got Shaman, which I have no idea what to make of the Shaman set. Really. Okay, I'll see you next time as I try to figure out what exactly Shaman got this expansion.